back to another Plasticon review. Today, we're going to cover Robotech. This is an official Robotech toy from back in the 80s. If you noticed, he's kind of squat, he's kind of crazy looking, and he doesn't really look anything like some of the stuff that everybody keeps seeing as Robotech. Like, this is basically a downsized Jetfire if you're a Transformers fan. This is an amazing little piece. I love this little toy. Although I don't have all the bits and pieces for him, I'm fine with that. He is absolutely awesome the way he is. I like this little super deformed jet. I like the fact he's got the Jolly Roger there on the side, which is really cool. And, you know, he may be a little old and wonky, but we're going to get through this together. He does happen to have the pilot in there, which is neat. It's neat to see the pilot in there. He's really kind of hard to see, but he's in there. And it's just unnecessary things that they did way back in the day with Bandai and such. And I love this toy. This toy is amazing. Although we didn't get like a huge version of him, this version isn't terrible. It's a very cool little kiddie-friendly version, and there's lots of stickers on him. He's got stickers here on his legs, and then, you know, right here across this. And, you know, some of the stickers may not be in the best shape. I mean, what do you expect? This thing is literally like pretty close to 40 years old or more, and I just love this toy. It's an amazing little piece, and this thing was actually gifted to me a very long time ago. I have a good friend of mine that he and I talk all the time, and he does a lot of reproduction parts of toys and such, and it's a shout out to John for thank you for sending me this guy many moons ago with a whole slew of other stuff. This is the guy I kept out of all of them because this thing just resonates with me, because I've always loved Robotech. I love the design, but I was never like hardcore into having like a huge Jetfire all the time. I did end up getting a Jetfire much later in life, but this thing is awesome. I love the size of this because it's tiny and it's funny looking, and I love it. I do. This is a very crazy looking little jet. It literally looks like it would pop out of a cartoon, and that's one thing I love about this. And this is done in the 80s, guys. This isn't like your newer design stuff, so the quality of this thing is a lot different than stuff you get nowadays. It's not 100% great, but it's also not 100% garbage either. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the details. He's got a lot of panel lining going on there, which is really neat. They didn't actually necessarily even have to do all those. He's a bit dirty, but that's okay. I mean, I don't mind him being kind of worn, because it just shows, you know, the love behind these things. And the fact that, you know, he's got his little fist sticking out here in the back. I know the original would have like slide-in fists, but that's okay. You know, he doesn't have to have that, especially being as small as this guy is. This thing's got a lot of engineering for its size, and it's very cool. It actually would have had like some gigantic boosters that would sit here on the back, and it also had like some little flare-out pieces here that would plug onto the sides. He doesn't happen to have those, but that's okay with me. He actually looks great just like this, and honestly, this is more of what a Valkyrie to me would look like anyhow, without all the craziness that you just add on. It's just bits and pieces that you can lose throughout the years. But this here being just a figure by itself, it's a solid little figure. You can find these on eBay quite often, but they're really hard to find in really good condition. I might actually go through and do a little bit of more of a restoration of this guy later on, but not right now. Right now I'm just going to enjoy him for what he is. But anyway, he's got a very simple transformation, very close to what the original one does, and it's really cool how it does all this craziness. Really gimmick filled, and love it because of that. He does happen to have little die-cast wheels as well. His little landing gear are die-cast. You happen to see his little head here. And yes, I know he doesn't have his little antenna guns. That's completely missing, but that's okay. I don't mind that he doesn't have it. It's not taken away from the toy at all for me. I think it's really great. And honestly, the fact that he's as white as he is, I've seen these extremely yellowed before, and this one's actually in really good shape for its age, especially when it comes to it being as white as the whole thing is. These little fins here like to move very easily. He's supposed to kind of peg in a position, but the pins tend to wear out after a while. That's okay. We love him anyway. And the fact he's just got so much detail in it. It's crazy how much detail they crammed into this little dude. just love it because of that. But anyway, enough gushing about this alt mode. Let's go ahead and put him into his robot mode. And his little landing gears, first thing you'll do is fold these up. And these actually do fold up and tuck away, which is cool. It wasn't necessary, but they did it anyway. And the fact that they're die cast. The rest of it's plastic, but just the wheels are die cast, and it's kind of cool. You'll take his little legs and fold his legs down like this. And if you want to, you can do Gurok mode, because, you know, he does do Gurok. You can just fold his little legs down like that. And there you go. You got a little Gurok. You can fold in his wings, just like so, if you wanted him to. His little arms do pop out. But I think it's kind of funny just having him walk around like this. He's like some little dweeb. And I love it. It's so cool. This thing just puts a smile on my face. Like when a toy puts a smile on my face, that's where it hits. That's where it really, like, you know, brings in the joy to me. I like the fact he's got the little VFs right there on his little feet. And it's got a lot of detail in the back too. And like I said, the arms do fold out. So we'll get more into that. I'm going to fold his legs all the way down. Just like so. And his little legs kind of just straighten back out. This guy's got a lot of articulation for his size. He really does. It's a very, very underrated toy. If you guys don't have one of these, I really kind of suggest you go out and get one. The cockpit itself, you'll flip it around, and it's got the huge Jolly Roger right there on the front. This does kind of just go one direction. Mine's a little iffy sometimes. Sometimes it likes to get caught. It's one thing you have to kind of watch out for on these, is these cockpits tend to be very temperamental. But you'll just take the whole portion here, and then you'll slide it down, and then come around to the back. You grab these arm pieces here, and they'll fold out, just like so. And then you'll take the headpiece here, kind of push it up, and then drop the back portion down. Like I said, this is just almost identical to the way the originals, like the larger ones, do. If you guys happen to have any of the actual Robotech guys, they do a very, very similar thing. Here on the back, you'll fold up both of the fins, and this will actually fold up and go onto his back. It even has the little bit of detail there, like the little sticker, which is nice, even on both ends. So he kind of still has that booster there in the back. And then you just straighten his little arms out, and there you go. You've got him in his robot mode. Now I know he's supposed to have a gun. I don't happen to have his gun, but that's okay. He's a very smart looking robot, and I think this is amazing. This is peak engineering to me, especially whenever it comes to size. Because the size of this guy is not very big at all. He really isn't. Kind of a size comparison here. Here he is next to Action Master Grimlock. It's a bit wider, but you know, that's fine. He's supposed to be a big bulky jet, so he should be able to kind of turn into something crazy. But I do like him a lot. He does have articulation in the head, obviously does 360 degrees. If he had the two little bits here though, it kind of would get in the way a little bit. But I don't think he looks bad without it, honestly. Kind of crazy he has a hole through the side of his head, but that's okay. I might actually go back through and try to fabricate some little horns for him or something. But he does happen to have arms here that does 360 degrees, and he's got these little arms that come out all the way. Just that far though. They don't go all the way, but partially. Far enough. He does have a bicep swivel, he does have a hand swivel, and his arms obviously will stretch all the way out and then do like a 90-degree bend, which is cool. As for his feet and his legs, his feet obviously can close because of transformation. He does happen to have a very good knee bend here, and the fact that this can actually go all the way forward is kind of nice too. And he also can move here a little bit at the waist as well because of the transformation gimmick of the pin there. Like I said, everything's kind of pinned together or screwed together with this guy, so he's very well put together. And to me, it's probably one of the more solid type of toys to get from the 80s era. If you guys are really into Robotech, these guys aren't extremely expensive, but they're cool. They're very neat. I do like the fact I can like fold his wings back out on the back, so I can kind of get him a little more of a silhouette there if I wanted the wings out. It's just a neat looking robot, and with all the detail and everything, you know, the painting on this one here is probably not the best on the yellow, but this is kind of a fault of all of them. They're kind of like this. But the rest of these are all decals, except for this. This is actually a raised embossed piece with a crack in the skull. That's not actually chipping, that's a crack. Because it's supposed to have a cracked skull, because if you look at the jelly roll here on the back, it doesn't actually have it there, but it should be, but it's kind of hard to do with that scale, so I understand why. I do like the fact that this has got the whole shield thing that goes over. You can do this and keep the pilot out if you wanted to, which is a cool option. Because, you know, options are nice. And he does have, you know, decent posability for its size. It's a very well put together toy. You don't have to worry about it falling over because it does, you know, it's a pretty solid toy all around. Now I do know, like I said, if he had the shield pieces here that come out on this side here, and then he would also have his little booster things that would stick up here, and then he would have his little gun. But to be honest, that stuff's kind of really not even necessary because these are such solid toys. That stuff can be completely missing and it doesn't matter because it just still looks good. I do like keeping his wings folded up myself. I'm more into that style, but if you want the wings folded out, you can. But he's a very neat looking little robot, and I do highly suggest you guys try to seek these out. They're a very neat, and I'd say more of a niche kind of toy. A lot of people don't really tend to go for the super deformed stuff, and it's funny that this is a super deformed out of the 80s. It just really kind of goes to show you how far Japan was ahead of everything we did here in the States, and how a lot of those toys from the States were influenced by things in Japan that didn't quite get there. Anyway, this has been Plasticon. This is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you around. That's it for now. Bye!